Alright guys, what's happening? KGCEpic here. Alright, so I've been doing like a lot of top 5s for anime, right? Top coolest jutsus, top strongest devil fruits, whatever. Now this one is what are the top 5 strongest swordsmen in anime. Now I'm going to give you guys a huge heads up before the video actually gets going, right? And this is not top 5 in strength. When I say strength, right, I'm not talking about like how much chakra or how much spiritual pressure somebody has and or other like big fucking techniques. I'm talking about if you were to seriously take away all the special techniques and you put them as a human in this world, like how I am a human being here and you're a human being here, and make them fight without all the chakra and haki and all that sort of shit, how they will perform. That's what I mean when I say top 5 strongest swordsmen. Because we all know if we want to fucking put top 5 strongest swordsmen, and Soul Reapers will stand out above everybody else because a Soul Reaper could just slice a fucking island in half with Bankai or some stupid shit like that at the end of the fucking day, right? Now, I'm not fucking talking about that shit. I'm talking about if like we were to take a fucking Soul Reaper and like a dude from let's say like a dude from like an anime that doesn't have all the flashy flying and spells and all that shit at the end of the day. They're fighting like people in this world, not in the anime world, but in the real world at the end of the day. So top 5 strongest anime swordsmen in the real world. Number 5. Number 5 goes to Teresa of the Faint Smile. Now, I don't know if you guys know Teresa. Teresa is from Claymore. She was the strongest Claymore to have ever existed, right? She was like really, really, really OP. Like, she could have like stood here. And Claymores do this thing where they go in these villages and they hunt these monsters called Yonkos. Now, Claymores are horror anime, so Yonkos are like these monsters that walk around and rip you open and have you alive while they're eating your guts and you're suffering. They're just playing around in your guts and eating whatever they want to eat at the end of the day, and you're alive, just bleeding out on the ground. It's a horror type anime, so I don't know if some people get into it, right? Honestly speaking. But Claymores are these people that splice with Yonko DNA, and what they have to do is go to village, from village to village, and keep everything safe and hunt all the Yonkos at the end of the day, right? All Claymores have the ability to sense if you're a Yonko or not, but Teresa was like off the charts. She could have stayed like a mile away and just like, alright, there are 8 Yonkos in that village. In that house, that house, that house, that house, that house, that house, and that house. And she was OP. And honestly speaking, I remember that when they wanted to execute her, right? Because as a Claymore, you're not allowed to kill any human being. When they wanted to execute her because somebody that she was protecting got raped, right? Um, they sent she was ranked number 1, obviously. They sent the person ranked number 2, number 3, number 4, and number 5 to beat her, and she was just playing with them. Honestly speaking, she was joking and toying with them at the end of the day. And the only how she died from a fucking fake. A fake killed her. In terms of like, she wasn't even like minding her own business, and this one girl was transforming. Because if like as a Claymore, if you like lose all your like self-control, you transform into a Yonko called an awakened one, right? And she was transforming, and Teresa was just like talking to her and whatever. And while she was transforming, she just faked like a fucking slash and sliced Teresa's head off. And I was like, what? That is not the proper way to send off a fucking strong character in anime. To send off a strong character in anime would have to be like how fucking Whitebeard died. Honestly speaking, I was pissed as fuck the way she died. But honestly, she's one of the strongest fucking swordsmen I've ever seen. Cause when she was fucking fighting, like the speed of their swords clashing used to like was like shattering people's eardrums at the end of the day. She has like some serious technique, honestly speaking. So number 5 goes to Teresa of the Faint Smile. Number 4 goes to Killer Bee. Now the reason why I put Killer Bee as number 4, like I said, it's based off of the real world. Like if they put how they fighting their soul techniques in the real world, like how they're fighting their soul techniques in the anime world, if you were to put it in the real world without all the flashy spells and jutsus and stuff, Killer Bee is really tripped out with the sword. Killer Bee 8 sword styles in the real world. He can 8 sword style. I've seen Killer Bee 8 sword style and be really OP as fuck. He does this weird 8 sword style type ballerina type spin, 1 foot spin thing. That's really OP. I remember he was like fucking about with his 8 sword style, and he like made a big fucking gaping hole in Sasuke's chest. Sasuke almost died at the end of the fucking day. Honestly speaking, it's really trippy to look at. I was thinking about putting Zoro there, and I was thinking like, okay, Zoro 3 sword style, and then I remember that Killer Bee 8 sword styles, and I was saying that okay, fine. In the real world, seeing somebody capable of 8 sword styling, honestly speaking, I would put him as number 4 on this list. Number 3 on this list goes to Titania Erza Scarlet. And I'll tell you why I made Erza number 3 on this list. Because of how versatile she is in terms of just using weapons and swords. Because remember, Erza's a really quick wizard, and she's like one of the strongest really quick wizards, right? And she can bust out a two-handed sword, then go back to dual wielding, to one-handed, to a hammer, to a fucking glaive, to a spear. Yeah, I put her as number 3 because of her versatility in terms of her using weapons. That's why I put her as number 3 because, like I said, taking her out of the anime when I put in her here, that means she can fight with every weapon known to humanity in terms of like it being a melee weapon. She can fight with it and she knows how to use it because she has an armor that uses it. Because she has a lot of different armors, right? She has armors that we don't even see because for like the longest while she used to only use like the armor with the wings, the black armor with the wings. I forget what it's called. What it's called, Nightgale armor or Nightwing armor. Some fucking name. I don't know the name, but she has a lot of different armors, like a lot, like an armor for every situation. If she's fighting a water monster, she has an armor. If she's fighting an air monster, she has an armor. If she's fighting a sheep, she has an armor. If she's fighting a dog, she has an armor. If she's fighting a fucking, I don't know, a fucking tank, she has an armor. Because if she's fighting a tank, she'll use a purgatory armor. You know? So I put her as number 3 because of her versatility. Honestly speaking. Number 2 on this list, I put Ichigo Kurosaki as number 2 on this list. Now I'll tell you why I put Ichigo, even though we took out Ichigo's spiritual pressure, why Ichigo stands out as a swordsman. Because one, it's the size of the fucking sword that he uses. Honestly speaking, it's not easy to use a two-handed sword. Honestly speaking, a two-handed sword is heavier than a one-handed sword by far. So it takes a lot of skill to use it. And we're keeping in mind, all we know about Ichigo is the fact that, okay, fine, he's a swordsman or whatever. But when he uses Bankai and then the show shrinks down to his one-handed sword form, Ichigo has a lot of skill, a lot of technique when it comes to using his sword. And he has learned how to use his sword very well over the time, from fighting hollow to sword rivers to whatever. Because imagine this. Ichigo, if you fight Byakuya's Senbon Sakura Kageyoshi uses 1 billion swords, right? He uses 1 billion swords. And Ichigo is able to dodge and parry and stuff. And that's a billion fucking swords, right? Honestly speaking. Which means that Ichigo has a lot of fucking experience in terms of like just sword fighting in general. Honestly speaking, of course, fine. He gets a lot of boost from like his hollow powers and Quincy powers and whatever. But I put him on this list as number 2 in terms of actually having a lot of good sword technique, simply because he knows how to fight well with a two-handed sword. Initially speaking, and a two-handed sword is harder to learn how to fight with than a one-handed sword. Because two-handed sword is longer, it's heavier, that sort of stuff at the end of the day. And then he also knows how to fight with the one-handed sword because of his Bankai at the end of the day. So I put him as number 2 on this list. I gave him mad props because in terms of his sword techniques. Honestly speaking, I give him mad props because of it. And he also knows how to fight with a 2-sword dual wield because of his like new form after the whole thing with Jurabatch trying to destroy everything and kill the Soul King and all that sort of shit at the end of the day. So yeah, Ichigo is really skilled with the sword. So that's why I put him as number 2 on the list. I was thinking about Bleach in general, and I was thinking that Genosai should be really skilled using the katana. But when I think about Ichigo and Ichigo's different sword forms, in terms of like it being a like two-handed dual wield or something, he one-hand katanas it, and him able to actually parry certain things. Ichigo has this one fucking skill. Every sword moves really fast and he's able to just, I don't know, I forgot the name of the fucking skill. It's one of the like the early Bleach skills. I think it's like more in the Bleach games than in the actual anime, honestly speaking. And it's really fucking cool. It's really fucking cool. Like, give Ichigo props for using his sword at the end of the day, right? Number 1 on my list is Hawkeye Mihawk. As being the strongest swordsman, even if you take him out of the anime world and you put him in the real world, he would be really tripped out. I'm thinking because even without his observation haki, he should have an idea of how to precisely slice you. Like, even though his observation haki would not be here in the real world. Because he's the strongest swordsman in One Piece, and One Piece is chocked full of fucking swordsmen, honestly, with really trippy abilities. And Hawkeye is one of those people that don't have a devil fruit. So we completely scratched out devil fruit from the list already, which means that the only thing he's working with is Yoru, which is the name of his sword, and Haki. And if you take out fucking Haki, and he still has Yoru in this wall, honestly speaking, even if we take out Yoru and we give him another fucking sword, I think Hawkeye would be a beast. I have seen Hawkeye fight people with a dagger. When he fought Zoro, Zoro was three sword style, and Hawkeye pulled out a fucking pocket knife on Zoro and made Zoro look like a little bitch. And that was when Zoro thought that he was the shit. He thought he was the shit before they like reached the grand line, right? He thought that he was the shit. And when he met Hawkeye, he realized the sheer fucking difference between somebody who wakes up today and decides to become a pirate and somebody who has been a pirate for like 20 fucking years. He saw the big fucking difference, honestly. And he's like the only person that I've seen beat three sword style with a fucking dagger at the end of the day. I don't even think it was as big as a dagger. It was a small fucking knife that he wears around his fucking chest. Like how I have my cross here. He has a cross around his chest, and just the bottom part of his cross is the fucking knife. It was a small fucking knife. And a little fucking knife. Probably like about this big. Honestly speaking, about this fucking big. Yeah, honestly speaking. And he was able to fuck up Zoro. So yeah. I put him as number one on the list. Like I said, this list is probably, I don't know. I don't know if it's weird because you people are probably expecting me to put people like Guts from Berserk and these sort of people at the end of the day. But like I said, I'm thinking about, okay, fine. Even if you have all your special abilities in the anime world, what if we were able to take you out of the anime world and put you in the real world? Would you still be able to perform? I think Guts would still be able to perform, but I don't think he would be able to perform as good as the people that I do have on this list. Honestly speaking, if you guys have yet to check out Claymore to see how badass Teresa is, Teresa's badass level is like off the fucking chain. Honestly speaking, she's precise to the teeth with a fucking sword. Honestly speaking, like to execute her, they had like 10 claymores around her, and like you see how you have like flash step in Bleach. They did that and they tried to attack her, and she sliced everybody at like the same depth, and was like at the end of the day, I don't feel like dying today. These are her exact words. At the end of the day, I don't feel like dying today, but I just sliced you guys deep enough so that you guys can still recover. And I don't feel like killing you guys. I'll just take my leave because I know nobody could fucking kill me. It's that kind of shit that earns you this fucking place on this list, honestly speaking, because you're badass as fuck. Erza has fought demons. Erza has literally had all her senses shut down and still able to beat a demon. Erza has had all her bones in her body broken and still be able to fucking kill a dragon. So yeah, you all have no point. Killer Bee's H2 style is trippy as fuck to just look at. For somebody to hold 8 swords on in 8 different parts of their body and still be able to fight efficiently, it's really trippy to look at, honestly speaking. And it's powerful as fuck. He's only got outshined in Naruto because he's not the main character. And he's a really strong person there because remember Killer Bee is the first perfect Jinchuriki. He is part of the Raikage's AB Command. The Raikage is going to be a really trippy person as a ninja, right? Honestly speaking, and he does like a lot of techniques. He has this one where he spins, he slices you, and then he turns upside down. And he's while he's fighting and spinning at the same time, he's upside down, changing up his swords and all that sort of shit at the end of the day. That's why I put him as number 4 on the fucking list. Honestly speaking, number 3. Honestly speaking, number 3 being Erza. Like I said, in terms of versatility, Erza is awesome. Erza could bust out any weapon and still be able to know how to use it efficiently and know what scenario for what, and that is called like being very strategic in combat. It's being very strategic in combat at the end of the day, knowing what to use when and how to use this when and how to do this why and all this sort of stuff at the end of the day. That's why she's number 3. Number 2 being Ichigo. Like I said, at the end of the day, Ichigo has mad skills because you have to remember that Soul Reapers are people who have died and then trained to actually become a Soul Reaper, and then trained again to become a captain. It's not easy to become a captain, and then trained again to even perfect themselves, and Ichigo is still above them at the end of the day. These Soul Reapers are people who are like 5 and 6,000 years old, and Ichigo is like 20 something. Ijira's 20 something years old, and he's on par with 5 and 6,000 year old dead people. So honestly speaking, he deserves a spot on this list. He deserves the number 2 spot on this list because he for sure knows how to use a two-handed sword because his Zanpakuto is naturally a two-handed sword. He for sure knows how to use a one-handed sword because of Bankai, and he for sure knows how to dual wield because he has a new dual wield, and it's really awesome. It's really awesome, and he definitely knows how to use a sword properly and knows what scenario to do when, and really and truly how to like really just overperform people, even people that he might be in a disadvantageous situation in, because he has been in a lot of disadvantageous situations before. Like even when you're in Hueco Mundo, you don't even know what these people are capable of, and that kind of shit at the end of the day, you know. But he's able to fucking bust out all these really cool sword styles and techniques and all this sort of stuff at the end of the day. And like I said, number 1 for sure, I give Dracul Mihawk here simply because of how precise he is in terms of his sword styles. Honestly, I would say that Dracul Mihawk deserves the number 1 because I know how powerful Zoro is, and Zoro is still an absolute zero to Dracul. Because remember, so the power that Zoro has currently in One Piece is what he gained from Dracul barely training him. Because when Zoro landed on the island, he couldn't even beat the monkeys, right? Zoro is now nowhere close to Dracul still. I'll tell you all that because if when you go on the island, you can't even beat the fucking monkeys on the island, right? And at the end of the day, Dracul decides he's gonna train you and just teach you a few things, teach you how to make your swords black. Because Yoru is just naturally black from Dracul's adamant haki. Keep that in fucking mind. Dracul said that your sword should always be black and should never chip, nick, or break ever in fucking existence at the end of the fucking day. And that's what I at the end of the fucking day. Yoru is the sharpest sword in the world. Dracula has the sharpest sword in the world. Yoru. I'm not sure which is second sharpest, honestly speaking. I think Shanks has one that's really up there as well. But honestly, Dracul stands out way more than other people. And like I said, Zoro is a beast right now in the new world. As a rookie, he's a beast, and he's nowhere close to fucking Dracul. Dracul is on par with Shanks, honestly speaking, because you have to remember that Shanks is a swordsman, and if Dracul is number 1 swordsman, that means either Shanks had the title and lost it, or at the end, no, I think when I read the Wikipedia, it said that Dracul and Shanks always used to fight, always used to spar with each other and stuff like that. So that means Dracul is on par with a Yonko, and if he's number 1 swordsman and Shanks is a swordsman, that means he's stronger than Shanks, and Shanks are going to be on par with Whitebeard. So I'm telling you guys, Dracul is no joke. He's on par with Whitebeard also. So yeah, he's probably like the strongest 7 Wallets of the Sea or something like that, because Jinbei is not that strong. I don't think Jinbei is on par with Whitebeard on them at the end of the day. But Dracul is in a league of his own, honestly speaking. And I think that even if you take away his haki, and he's not even a devil fruit user, right? Even if you take away his haki, he would be a beast in the real world in terms of using a two-handed sword, because Yoru is like fucking stupid strong, honestly. But anyways, guys, thanks for watching. Remember to like and subscribe, and as usual, stay awesome.